Hello friends, New York attorney Bryan Hutchinson here with 3 tips that will save you thousands of dollars on your divorce. Tip number 1, you have to be emotionally prepared for your divorce. If you're not psychologically and mentally prepared for a divorce, then you should not start your divorce action. If you need mental health counseling, psychological counseling, some form of therapy to go through the divorce process, then you should. Because if you're not psychologically prepared to go through a divorce, the whole process is going to be stressful, chaotic, and disorderly. So you have to put yourself in the right psychological frame of mind to go through the process. You have to let yourself know that this is an emotionally draining process, that you're prepared to go through the process, that you're prepared to go through the process and avoid unnecessary stress, unnecessary conflict, avoid pettiness. So you have to be emotionally and psychologically prepared to go through the process. If you're not emotionally and psychologically prepared, get some counseling. Your lawyer is not your psychologist or your therapist. You don't want to pay your lawyer. You don't want to be calling your lawyer every 10 seconds because lawyers charge per hour. You're going to be spending a tremendous amount of money trying to use your lawyer who's not qualified to be your therapist. So get yourself psychologically prepared for it. Number 2, you have to know what is it that you want from the divorce. So before you even go see an attorney, make a list of all the assets in the relationship, all the liabilities, and you have to think about your children. How do you plan to co-parent if there are kids in a relationship with your other spouse? Remember, these children are innocent in this relationship. How do you plan to co-parent? Where do you plan to live after the divorce? Remember, you're not going to have the same 2 household income. So where do you plan to live? Are you planning to remain in the same school district? Are you moving school districts? Are you moving to a better school district? Are you moving to a school district that is not as affluent as the current school district? And is it in the child's best interest that you relocate to a different school district? Where is the family support? Are there family members there who could give you emotional support? Are there family members there who could give you a hand, pick up and drop off from school? Is there a support system if you're planning on relocating? And how is it in the child's best interest for you to relocate at all? Maybe the child is better off staying with the other parent and not relocate. So those are things you have to give thought to so that when the process starts, you're not just reacting and acting haphazardly into the entire process. Number 3, and this one is something that makes divorces last longer than necessary. Divorce is not the place where you're going to be seeking validation from your other spouse. Divorce is not the place where you're going to get someone to suddenly be grateful that they were a part of your life, or is going to be the place where you're going to get one of your other spouse to admit that they have wronged you. So if you're coming into the divorce and your goal is to seek validation that you were right along and you've been wrong, you're wasting your time and your money and your energy. You know, if your divorce is where you're trying to get someone to admit that they were ungrateful to you for all the great things you've done to them, for your family, you waste your time and money. Divorce is not the place to get revenge. It's not the place to seek validation that you have been wronged and your other spouse wronged you. Divorce is about essentially 2 things. One, children, if they are children. You know, custody, visitation of the children, the future education of the children, and making sure the children are taken care of. Right? The other thing is the economic partnership, the dissolution of the economic partnership. So that is what the divorce is basically for. Anything else is a waste of your time and energy. And that's why it's always advisable to get an attorney to represent you in a divorce. Because the attorney is not going to be emotionally tied in decision making. It's a third party who's looking inside and trying to figure out what is in your best interests for you in terms of dissolving this partnership so that you both can move on with your life in a healthy way, especially if you have children, because you don't want to screw them up by your poor decision making, by your anger, your resentment. So those are my 3 tips to save you lots of time, lots of money. Number 1, make sure you're mentally and psychologically prepared for the divorce, because you don't want to enter the divorce with so much baggage that the court may have to say, you know what, we need forensic evaluation of the parents or the children or child, and all of a sudden you're spending $15,000-$20,000 in forensic evaluation, and now you know you're going to run into a unnecessary custody battle, or you know, where you're going to be spending another $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. It's a waste of your time, energy, and resources. Number 2, make a list of all your assets, all your liabilities, and sources of income before you go into the attorney's office, and decide what do you want to do. And number 3, you gotta release yourself from all forms of negative energy. Get rid of the idea that somehow this person is going to confess or acknowledge that they have wronged you. That's not gonna move the process to resolution by holding on to any form of resentment or anger. So those are my 3 tips. I guarantee you try to follow that, you will save yourself thousands, perhaps hundreds of thousands of dollars on your divorce case. Thank you. Have a good day.